Hello everyone. In today's video, we'll introduce the components of the toolbox in UnicView Studio, providing an overview. In subsequent videos, we'll delve deeper into the settings and operations of each component individually. The components are organized in the toolbox. Here, you can select a component type and drag it onto the screen, thus creating a component of that type. Update. There has been a change in the layout of the component bar. It is now displayed at the top here. To add components to the screen, simply select them, click, and drag them onto the screen. It's also possible to create multiple components of the same type by selecting one and holding down the Shift button. Although there has been a change in the layout, the functionality of the components remains the same. The concept remains unchanged. The components are divided into categories, covering data presentation, buttons, data input, time and date, as well as graphics and drawings on the screen. Now, I'll give a brief overview of each component and its function. Starting with data presentation components, the text view displays text on the screen, whether static or dynamic, as it can show variable values. Additionally, it allows customization options such as font, size, color, and style. These features can also be linked to variables for runtime changes. This property linking to variables extends to all components. The image box component, as the name suggests, displays images on the screen without size restrictions. The displayed image can also be changed at runtime by linking it to a selection variable, for example. The QR code component is equally easy to use. Just set the text in the content field, and it automatically generates the corresponding QR code on the display. Now, talking about buttons, the button is a customizable button that can be configured to change the value of a variable or switch screens, for example. This button has a default appearance, and you can change the background and border color in different button states. Here, at the top, you can select the button state for preview, such as normal, pressed, and disabled. The image button is very similar to the button, with the difference that the button's appearance is defined by an image. These are default images, but you can set any image for the button's appearance. The slider is a bar for the user to click and drag, either vertically or horizontally. Its settings are simple. You define a maximum and minimum value, and based on the position, the slider will have a certain value. This value is linked to a variable. Now, I introduce the scrolling picker component, which is a list of options that can be scrolled vertically, allowing the selection of a single option. Data input, text box, and keyboard objects are usually used together to display a keyboard in the project. The text box basically shows the typed text, while the keyboard is the actual keyboard. An important note is that these keyboard objects should be used within a window in the project. The calendar is an object for date selection. The chart is an object for drawing line or bar charts. The polyline is a type of chart that draws a sequence of connected lines on the screen. When you add components to the screen, they are displayed in this field called Component Outline. In this list, the components of the currently selected screen are shown. An important note is that their order in this list is relevant, as it is related to the layer the object is in. For example, this object is in a higher layer, allowing it to overlap another object. However, you can also move the object between layers using these buttons. Two common properties of components, quite useful, are the visible and enabled properties. The visible property, when disabled, makes the object not appear on the screen. useful for deactivating objects at runtime. The enabled property also serves to activate and deactivate the object, but in this case, the object does not disappear from the screen, remaining visible with a disabled appearance. This was an overview of the components in the current version of the software as of the recording time. In the next videos, we'll go deeper into the details of each component individually. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments. See you soon.